So lately, I've done a little bit of shitting on the Dragon Ball Super anime. I got tons of comments on these videos reminding me that the manga fixes a lot of my problems, and I agree. I absolutely love the Dragon Ball Super manga. The story is more well-rounded, and Toyotaro does have a lot of ideas that generally service the plot and individual characters so much more. So here's a list showing how Dragon Ball Super's manga far outclasses the anime. Hey guys, Eonity here really quickly just to ask you to please subscribe and follow me on my socials, and also to announce that I have a whole Discord made just for you guys. Join if you want to talk anything Dragon Ball or anime, even debates, or you can go there to tell me I'm completely wrong and that you hate my guts. Much appreciated. Enjoy the video. Love you. Bye. Before we start off, I want to talk about something that people often get confused about. While usually an anime draws from the original manga to tell its story, like with Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball Super anime did not do this. I'm not exactly sure why this happened, but the anime was drastically ahead of the manga in terms of its story. But you'll see a lot of key points in both versions of events that follow a generally linear path. What caused all of this is the way in which they had Toriyama write the story. Instead of having him do the manga or anime entirely, which I'm sure he didn't want to do, he gave small bits and pieces to the writing staff at Toei and Toyotaro separately, although the notes seemed to be the same. So each party used the notes properly and filled in the middle with whatever they wanted. Let's just go ahead and start at the beginning of the story, the Beerus Arc. In order to maintain a decent power scale, rather than have it suck as much as it did in the anime, Toyotaro eliminated Goku absorbing the energy of Super Saiyan God into his base. While the anime has him fighting Beerus in his Super Saiyan form, faring better than he did as a Super Saiyan God, the manga doesn't really have this. He simply loses his Super Saiyan God form and powers down to base, leading to less power scaling issues in the future.
Even though the Super Saiyan God power expired, your body has learned from the experience of fighting in God form. In a sense, the God power is part of you now.
There's also a theory that the anime retconned this, but they never really explained that. People just assume it. On to my next point, which honestly is one of the best things Toyotaro could have done, and that's skipping the revival of F arc. We did not need to see the events of Revival F play out a third time. He skips it and goes into the first bit of brand new material, the Tournament of Destroyers arc. There are a few things in this arc that are made better due to some changes made previously. Kappa being the same level as Vegeta makes so much more sense in the anime because Vegeta's level is probably only a bit higher than it was in the Buu Saga, rather than being a universe level threat like in the anime. There are just some things this arc does way better than the anime. The main one for me being the usage of Super Saiyan God. The anime essentially threw this form out until the Tournament of Power, but the manga makes very good use of it all throughout. The first of which being here. Goku uses Super Saiyan God in order to bypass Hit's time skip with pure power. Not only does it do this, but it also makes Super Saiyan Blue feel so much more powerful. Goku and Vegeta are nowhere near mastering this form, so they use it in short bursts in order to maintain decent stamina. The anime just makes Super Saiyan Blue essentially a substitute for any form they want because they introduce the idea of ki control with this form, which leads to some problems later on, scaling wise anyway. This video isn't just about big things though. There are a few little moments in the manga that really just make Goku and Vegeta feel like a proper dynamic duo. Scenes like Vegeta asking Bulma to go fight Goku Black alongside Goku, like a little kid asking his mom for permission to hang out with his friend. Or when Vegeta smiled and said he expected Goku to have high confidence while on their way to fight Black. There's actually a scene where Vegeta tells Trunks to take Mai back to the past in order to save her, which is never anything he does in the anime. He's so dead set on beating Black that he just reverts back to, I must beat Kakarot, instead of caring for his son's future. Small things like this really show Vegeta's character after the Buu Saga so much better. Trunks reaching the power of Super Saiyan 3 by mastering Super Saiyan 2 is honestly a great idea as well. It shows that he was training a lot, but doesn't overstep his power by making him enter the domain of the gods with little ease. It's fairly realistic in the universe of Dragon Ball, especially considering Goku doesn't have the power of Super Saiyan God in his base. It helps the entire Goku Black arc tremendously. Speaking of him, he's also great here. He doesn't immediately jump to Super Saiyan Rose, but rather there's a slow incline to it. He fights Goku in his base and eventually gets Super Saiyan. Then, a bit later, he gets Rose in a really cool panel, making the entire progression of Zamasu mastering Goku's body feel a lot smoother. In the anime, he just gets beat up a bit, gets stronger because of it, and then beats them all. They even try to include the Zenkai boost in the anime, but if you watch Dragon Ball Z, you'll remember that Zenkai boosts are near-death strength amps, something that Goku Black never even reaches.
When a Saiyan recovers from the kind of damage you dished out to me, old friend, he only becomes that much more powerful.
In the manga, it's very different. You actively see him getting healed from near death, and even Trunks mentions it. On the topic of Trunks mentioning Zenkai boosts, the manga goes out of its way to explain that Goku and Vegeta have grown beyond that, reaching some sort of limit on the Zenkai boosts. This makes any possibility of the insane power creep from Dragon Ball Z nearly obsolete, although Super still finds its way to do that. Another great moment of character writing in the manga that's just better than the anime is the moment with the Mafuba, or the evil containment wave. In the anime, Goku just completely forgot it.
Hey, you guys forgot the most important part of the whole technique.
You know how forgetful Goku is. Why didn't you make sure he brought it?
It can't be everyone's mom, okay?
Imagine if Goku forgot the senzu beans when going to fight Cell, or literally any of their opponents. This is not in character. In the manga, this is remedied because he didn't forget the seal, he just grabbed the wrong one, which makes so much more sense for him to just grab the wrong one in a rush. They even set it up earlier in the arc with this panel. The manga and anime both retconned the Potara earring fusion to be an hour. They differ in this sense that the anime made Zamasu's last forever, while Vegeta only lasted a few minutes. The manga made it so that both fusions would last an hour, therefore making the stakes less how the hell do we beat this guy and we have to stall for time. They also made Vegeta leagues above Zamasu, as it should be. Since two stronger warriors are fusing, they should be stronger. On the same note, Vegeta's the one who actually mentioned the fusion to Goku, although this was after turning it down prior. Still a great moment, something he should be past by this point in the story. Vegeta also swallowed his pride to tell Trunks to heal Goku instead of himself, because he recognized that Goku's strength and ability surpassed his own at that moment. Vegeta mentioned this in the Buu saga, and honestly, this should have been shown more in the series beyond that.
Hang in there, Kakarot. You are number one.
It really sucks we don't see it too much besides the Super manga. On to my favorite part of this arc, perfected Super Saiyan Blue. This felt like such a natural progression of the form, similar to Grade 4 Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball Z, but also similar to Kaioken. He somewhat masters the stamina / ki of Super Saiyan Blue and holds it within his body, allowing him to sustain the form a bit longer. Although if done wrong or for too long, he can hurt his body in major ways, just like the Kaioken. It's essentially making Super Saiyan Blue feel better without having to literally add the Kaioken to the form. Also, Goku uses the Hakai, which is honestly just cool as hell. Jumping ahead a lot, the Zen Exhibition Match was much cooler in the manga, subjectively anyway. I loved seeing the Gods of Destruction all duking it out, showing their awesome individual abilities with some amazing paneling and fight structures. It also showed the insane gap between Goku and the Gods of Destruction when he couldn't even see them anymore. The power scaling in the arc was also way more consistent. One of the main examples is 17 being on par with Super Saiyan 3 Goku, which makes more sense than 17 being on par with Super Saiyan Blue. It's also explained that he trained with Cell Juniors since the Cell saga, so obviously he's gonna get way stronger. They also try to mention Oob in this arc, foreshadowing, or rather after foreshadowing, the end of Z. The Tournament of Power is completely different than the anime. Gohan had a much more major fight in the manga, fighting Kefla. It adds to his character a lot more, having him in a proper major fight. They knock each other out, so the power scaling isn't really all that bad either. My personal favorite of the changes made is when Goku unlocks Ultra Instinct. As all of you definitely know, the anime has Goku absorb the energy of a Spirit Bomb and attain the form. It's not bad, but it makes it feel more like a raw power thing instead of martial arts prowess. It feels like any other form for the most part. The manga differs in this aspect. They have Master Roshi remind Goku of all his master's lessons. Korin, Mr. Popo, Kami, and King Kai, all of them mention bits and pieces of mastering self-movement, stuff that's slowly been ingrained into him. At the same time, Master Roshi uses some version of Ultra Instinct. While it is definitely wild that Master Roshi can dodge any attacks from Jiren, it does make the form feel so much more special for that, showing that even with an insane power gap, someone can outclass their opponent given the proper techniques. Goku ends up unlocking Ultra Instinct by understanding Tranquility. In the anime, it's similar, but my problem with it is afterwards. They show Goku getting angry in the form, going against literally everything Whis says about it. I love this scene, I really do. It's really cool and the animation is superb and the voice acting was amazing.
Anyone tries to hurt my friends is gonna pay!
Probably one of my favorite moments out of Super, but the manga just makes the form feel like a martial artist's dream, showcasing the technique used while also making it feel more divine and just the design of it, making Goku slimmer than the anime, similar to the Super Saiyan God form. The manga also adds a lot of stuff before the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie with Goten and Trunks. It fleshes out the entire arc and also their individual characters a bit, differentiating them from their child counterparts and creating realistic depictions of how they'd be at this point. In the same movie, there's also a scene where Goku sees Vegeta meditating. In the movie, he says,
How's sitting on a rock gonna help you win a fight?
It's such a stupid scene because Goku has meditated in canon, whereas in the manga, he isn't so much baffled at why Vegeta is meditating, but why Vegeta is meditating. Overall, I think the manga does a lot of things better. Individual characters are written much better. The story feels a lot more streamlined and less all over the place with an actual plan in mind, and the power scaling was done way better than the anime. I won't lie and say I don't miss certain scenes from the anime. The anime's ending is really good, and the manga's just doesn't catch this vibe as well as the anime. The Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken scene was really good, even if I don't care for the idea of the form. And angry Ultra Instinct Goku does feel sick in a vacuum. It just doesn't make much sense when looking at it through the lens of the story. That's pretty much it for this video, although next video I might try something different with my content. I'm gonna try to make a Kingdom Hearts video. If you like Kingdom Hearts, please tune in because I really want this to be a banger of a video. I really do hope you enjoyed this video though. If you didn't, I'm sorry. Love you, bye.